Okay, so you see that core wire, right? This electrode has a core wire, and above that you have the flux, right? Flux coating. So that core wire is what will conduct the electric current, right? Because it is made of metal, metals are conductive. So that core wire conducts the current, electric current to the arc, right? Basically, it provides a filler metal, as I said. The heat of the arc melts the core wire, right? And the flux covering at the electrode tip into metal droplets, right? Even it melts the core wire first, and then the flux also, which is around it, covering at the electrode tip into metal droplets, right? Melts it to droplets. That's what it does, right? Because you have to have that liquid for it to be able to get deposited in between the gap of the two components which are to be welded. As the weld is laid, the flux coating of the electrode disintegrates, giving off vapors that serve as a shielding gas and provide a layer of slag, both of which protect the weld area from atmospheric contamination. So you see, what is happening is that flux coating, it disintegrates, right, giving off vapors. We are trying to know why that flux coating is given, right? This point emphasizes the importance of the flux coating. What it does, it integrates, right, when the weld is, as the weld is being laid, right, as that core metal is melting and the flux is melting, what is happening is the flux disintegrates, it gives off vapors that serve as a shielding gas, right? Those vapors are serving as a shielding gas. It will protect the weld area from oxidation or from any other type of contamination, right? It serves as a shielding gas. It provides a layer of slag, both of which protect the weld. Two things here, right? It also functions as a shielding gas, right? Those vapors, and also that layer of slag which is there because of the formation, because of the melting of the flux. Okay, some part of it has become vapor, some part of it is slag. Both of those are protecting the weld area from atmospheric contamination, right? We have all sorts of gases in the air. So to protect the weld area from those gases, right, in the atmosphere, or the, what do you call, oxidation, etc., for preventing all that, you have the flux, right? That's the importance of flux coating. This could be asked as a short question also, right? What is the importance of flux coating in arc welding, right? Used in the electrode of arc welding, like that. So other point is molten metal in the weld pool solidifies, right? Once that molten metal is, what do you call, in place, right? What it does, it solidifies into the weld metal, while the lighter molten flux floats on the top surface and solidifies as a slag layer. That molten metal of the core, right, core wire, it solidifies into the weld metal, right, and the lighter molten flux, right, because flux is lighter, it floats on the top, right, because the other weld metal is dense, it will come down. The flux will stay at the top because it is lighter, and it solidifies as a slag layer. So that can also be removed later if required. Okay. So that's the setup. I've explained all of those things, right? Electrode lead cable, right, which is supplying that current from the power source to the electrode holder. Any other thing? You have the clamp, right, workpiece connection clamp. You might have seen this on the roadside also. They use either a rod or any other clip that they have for it, for to the work table or to the component itself, right? So that is what is here, this thing. So to summarize what you have learned so far, arc welding is also known as stick welding, right? That is another point to note. It is also called stick welding because we are basically trying to use a stick, right, an electrode. So that's what makes them to say it is a stick welding. It uses an arc between a covered electrode and a workpiece. That's what we have discussed. The arc is between the electrode, which is covered basically with flux, and the workpiece. right? One is being positively charged and the other is negatively charged. Shielding is obtained from decomposition of the electrode cover, that is flux, right? And pressure is not used. We are not using any pressure, are we? No. In this particular arc welding process, there is no pressure used at all. Because in the definition of welding, we have seen with or without use of pressure, remember? So we are trying to emphasize that no pressure is used here in arc welding. Other point is filler metal is obtained from the electrode itself, right? The electrode has a core wire that is basically the filler metal around which you have the flux, right? You see the principle of arc as we have explained already, we have seen a suitable gap is kept between the workpiece and electrode. That is what the responsibility of the welder is. That he has to maintain that a certain gap so that arc is generated, right? How is that arc generated? Because the high current that is passing through the circuit. What is the circuit? Your electrode, from the electrode to the workpiece, right? From positive to negative end, right? It has to, the current has to pass. So to close the circuit, you have to ensure that that gap is maintained, right? If the gap is there, to close the circuit, the current has to jump, right, from that electrode to the workpiece. That's what the circuit means here. High current is passed through the circuit. The electric energy is converted into heat energy, right? Producing a temperature of 3000 degrees centigrade to 4000 degrees centigrade. That's what the temperature that is achieved because of the arc. Okay, this heat melts the edges to be welded, right? And molten coal is formed. On solidification, the welding joint is obtained, right? That's what is the principle of arc, and basically the summary we can say. A closer look at the arc welding process, you see, this is your electrode. As I said, the top, the surface is your coating, flux coating. The inside is your core metal, right, filler metal. And you see here, arc is formed here. This is your base metal. The arc is formed between the electrode and the base metal. And this molten weld metal, here you see that filler, the core wire which is inside is responsible for supplying this molten weld metal, right? And even the base metal would also melt. Two things. Okay. Here you see they are going from left to right. So this is already welded. You have solidified weld metal, right? Basically this filler metal is also there and this base metal is also mixed. And on the top you have slag, as we have discussed. The slag is because of the flux. Because it is lighter, it floats on the top. And the denser weld metal is there at the bottom. Right? That's the travel direction. Right? That's what is there in this diagram. The process, as we have discussed, intense heat at the arc melts the tip of the electrode. Tiny drops of metal enter the arc stream and are deposited on the parent metal, right? It's a base metal. As a molten metal is deposited, slag forms over the bead, which serves as an insulation against air contaminants during cooling, right? They will remove the slag upon complete returning to the room temperature, right? Once it is at the room temperature, you will remove the slag. Until that point, it serves as an insulation against the air contaminants, right? Contaminants in the atmospheric air. So after a weld pass is allowed to cool, the oxide layer is removed, as I said, right, by a chipping hammer. The technical name for that device used to remove the slag is called chipping hammer, and then cleaned with a wire brush before the next pass, right? We'll see the equipment also that is there in the, you see here, arc welding equipment. You have the welding transformer, which is apply the current, right? We have the electrode, we have seen, this is what the electrode looks like. You can see the tip is only the weld metal, whereas most of your electrode is basically flux plus metal. At the end, you have the metal where it is being clamped in the electrode holder, right? You see, this is the point where it will be clamped in the electrode holder. This is your electrode holder, needless to say. This is where the welder will hold the electrode holder, right? So this will be insulated of course, for the protection of the welder, right? Workpiece clamp, right? As I said, for connection between the workpiece and the transformer, right? This will serve as a grounding, right? Protective shield for protection of the welder from the contaminated, the gases that those are formed. Wire brush, as we have discussed just now, to remove that slag, right? Chipping hammer. You use the chipping hammer first to remove the slag, and then the wire brush also, right? Steps. What are the basic steps? You prepare the base metals, you remove the paint and rust. Why? Because if the weld metal also has these contaminants, this will serve as impurities, right? So it's better to remove any paint or rust or any other contaminants from the workpiece so trying to weld, right? Preparation of the base metals. Choosing the right welding process for your particular application, right? Different processes are there. You have to select based on the material, the geometry, what else is there, the cost of the equipment that you can afford, right? Choosing the right filler material also, right? What filler material to use. Assess and comply with safety requirements, right? That is one general rule. Use the proper welding techniques and be sure to protect the molten puddle from contaminants in the air, right? Because that will serve as impurities and it will lead to heterogeneous properties, right? The properties will not be uniform all throughout the component, right? Inspection of the weld at the end, right? So where do you get the electric power for welding? It could be either AC arc welding or DC arc welding, right? So AC, alternating current, instead of 220 volt at 50 amps, the power supplied by the transformer is around 17 to 45 volts at current up to 600 amperes, right? This is for AC arc welding. For DC arc welding, DC machines are made up to the capacity range of 600 amperes and a voltage of this range 45 to 95, right? So two kinds, either AC arc welding or DC arc welding, right? Comparison, just a little comparison between the direct arc welding, right? So as compared to alternating current arc welding, AC arc welding, the direct current arc welding has these points, right? Where it is less efficient as compared to AC arc welding. Power consumption is quite more for this direct current because the current would be stable, right? It will supply the same current. It will not vary as in arc welding. AC arc welding. Cost of equipment is more here, low voltage, and therefore a safer operation, right? A positive point of one sort if you look at from that perspective. Right? Because of the low voltage, this is quite a safer operation, right? Suitable for both ferrous and non-ferrous metals. Preferred for welding thin sections, right? Because power consumption, the voltage is low, therefore, and the positive terminal connected to the workpiece, the negative terminal is connected to the electrode, right? That's what is done here in DC arc welding. Because this connection would also determine the temperature that you will reach because of the arc, right? The flow of heat has to be decided. Either it is from the electrode to the workpiece or from the workpiece to the electrode. That is also possible, right? Types of electrode, choice of electrode depends on the number of factors, including these three. Your weld material is one factor. The welding position is also one factor. The desired weld properties after you have got the weld is also another factor. So the type of electrode would depend on these three factors, right? I mean, just to name a few. So if you look at the category, they are bare electrodes and coated electrodes. Bare electrodes without any coating, right? No flux at all. Coated electrodes will have coating, right? That's what is happening. Welding action of a cellulosic coated stick electrode, right? This is your electrode as we have seen earlier. This is your flux coating, right? This is where it will be held in the electrode holder. So we have seen this diagram earlier, right? This is your slag floating at the top. That's your well deposited, right? Projecting shield or miniature crucible, right? So this will serve as what do you call a protection. Gaseous shield, as we are seeing, right? This flux is responsible for generating that shield, right? So it is, we are calling this a crucible, miniature crucible, because this is basically supplying the molten metal, right? This core wire is supplying the filler metal. So that is why we are calling it a miniature crucible, right? Because it is supplying the droplets, molten droplets. Any other thing? Shielded or heavy coating, as we have already discussed, electrode core wire, right? As I called it, core wire, right? Applications, if you want to see, we have, you see the towers that those are there. Cellular towers also have to be welded. Pressure vessels have to be welded, right? You see that pressure vessel in your oil and gas industries and all these food industries, right? So they require this kind of vessels. So they are to be welded, right? And these are also structures, right? Steel structures, very what do you call a good example for your in the context of civil engineering, right? So they're preparing those structures. These are to be welded, right? Those members are to be welded. Cross members are to be welded to this main frame, right? And automobile, as I said, BIW, the outer body of the car is to be welded at several points, right? And even these pipelines, as we have seen here. If the cross section, if the thickness is quite high, then they will use that type of welding, right? And grills, so this is basically more of a general application, right? The advantages, it's a simple welding equipment, it is portable, even the transformer can be taken from here to there. Portable, that's what makes it portable. Inexpensive power source, right? Relatively inexpensive equipment. Welders use standard domestic current, right? The users have to plug in to the power source, right? Power process is fast and reliable. So you get that arc as soon as you switch on the power source, right? It's that simple. It's reliable, short learning curve, right? The welders can learn it. I mean, the one who is trying to weld it will not have a hard time to learn how to weld, right? Especially arc welding is what we're looking at, right? So the learning curve is quite short. The welder or the person responsible will learn how to weld quickly. Arc welding, right? Electric arc is equipment can use multiple functions, right? Electric arc is about 5,000 degrees centigrade. Even those ranges can be achieved. Used for maintenance, repair, and field construction, right? Maintenance, even for example, something has broken down, has to be fixed. How do you fix that? Arc welding, right? Repair and field construction also, right? Very specific application. Disadvantages, it's not clean enough for reactive metals such as aluminum and titanium, right? Just as gas welding was not suited, this is also not suited to reactive metals like aluminum and titanium. Deposition rate is limited because the electrode covering tends to overheat and fall off, right? The deposition rate is limited. The amount of metal which is deposited from the electrode to the weld metal, I'm sorry, the component to be welded is limited. The deposition rate is not much, limited, because the electrode covering tends to overheat and fall off, right? That covering, electrode covering, would fall off because that is having a lower temperature, right? This is why the deposition rate is limited. The more amount of metal is not being deposited because of the covering tending to overheat. Electrode length is almost 35 mm and requires electrode changing, right? It lowers the overall production rate. So that electrode has a particular length, right? It cannot be of so long. I mean, you cannot have a longer electrode, right? Because of handling reasons. So it is almost of 35 mm, and therefore once it is when it has replenished, you have to supply a new electrode, right? So that's what makes it there's a non-productive element here, right? So that lowers the overall production rate, right? Comes off as a disadvantage. These are safety equipment, the instruments, right? Just for your understanding, I've kept, right? Some of them you already see, except hand gloves. I'm sorry, is hand gloves and earplugs, first aid box, extinguisher, helmet we already seen, goggles for protection from the gases that are released, shoes, right? So just an understanding, right? Doubts so far? We have discussed the concept of arc welding, right? Is there any doubts you can ask? Otherwise, we can end the meeting. It is already past 9. Okay, then no doubts, then we'll end the meeting. Thank you.